Hello friends, in previous session of functions we have seen about what is function, how a function works, so what are the parts of functions, how function is used, and flow of execution of codes using functions. So about these things we have already learned. So today we'll see about some more concepts of functions. So first thing is about the parameters. So we know that there are two types of parameters, actual parameters and formal parameters. So in function call, whatever parameters we use, or it is also called as arguments, so that we call it as actual parameters. So when it is passed to the function, in function header, we accept the values using formal parameters, right? So the different types of formal parameters we'll see today. So in Python, we can have three types of parameters, that is formal arguments or formal parameters. So those are first one, positional arguments or positional parameters, default arguments, and keyword arguments. So there are three different types of formal parameters or formal arguments here. So let us see that how it works. So first one is about positional arguments. So these are called positional arguments as these are received in the same order in function definition as they are sent in function calling. So here what happens is, in the same order, what are the arguments we are passing from function call, in function header the parameters will be in the same order. They are also called as required arguments as they are compulsory to pass while calling the function. So when you are calling the function, it is compulsory to pass values. In these types of arguments, the quantity of parameters passed in the function definition must match with number of parameters passed in the function calling. That means an actual parameter and formal parameters, the number of arguments should match. So the syntax of the function definition will be def followed by function name, within bracket there will be different variables. So in function call, we will call the function by the function name by passing the corresponding values. So the number of elements in function call, the number of values in function call and the function header must match. So we'll see the example of positional arguments. So as you know, the function main part of the program will be executed always, that is the unindented portion of the codes will be executed first. So from the beginning, after the command def sum a comma b comma c is written, that means this is a function header, right? So function will not execute without calling. So what happens, control will come here, then it directly transfer to this lines, that is n1 equal to int input enter first number. So the first, this line will be executed, it will ask for the first number, then it asks for the second number, then it asks for the third number. After that we have written here ans equal to sum of n1 comma n2 comma n3. So these are the arguments or the actual parameters. So when you pass these actual parameters to the function sum, so control will be transferred from here to the function definition, where n1 will be taken as a, n2 will be taken as b, and n3 will be taken as C. So corresponding values are assigned here in order. So this we call it as positional arguments. So here A, B, C values will be taken in order, then it is added, then it is sum is returned back to the function. So here ANS variable will store the result and the result is displayed. So here this example is to show that how positional arguments works. So here positional arguments are A, B and C, which takes the corresponding values from n1, n2 and n3 in order. Clear? So this we call it as positional arguments. The second category is default arguments. These are called default parameters because while creating the function definition, we can set the predefined values for some parameters or all parameters. In this situation, we need not pass arguments while calling the function for these parameters that we have already given the default values. The default parameters are always created from right to left. A non-default parameter cannot follow default parameter, which also means that positional parameters must always be before default parameters. Okay, so we'll see that with the example. Okay, before that, some more points. They will come in use only if we do not pass any arguments for them while calling the function. They are useful in those situations where the value of parameters will remain same. So meaning is when we want to keep some variable constant, so then we can make it as a default argument. So the syntax will be like this. In function definition, we'll write def function name followed by variable names, and in any variable you want to fix with some values, you can write variable equal to some value. So this is called as actually the default variable. So in function call, we'll just pass the values arguments. You need not pass the third variable here, or if you pass the third variable value, then default value will be ignored. We'll see this example. So here for default arguments, we will see this example. So def sum a comma b comma c equal to 10 is written. That means, so here I am defining a function with the name sum with three parameters, so a, b and c. So here third one is given with default value. So this is actually called as default arguments or default parameter. So c equal to 10. So c value is 10 is defined by default. Then we have the body of the function. So how this program runs, it always starts from here. So it asks for the first number, it asks for the second number, then sum equal to n1 plus n2. So n1 comma n2. So that means n1 and n2 values are passed to the function as a and b, but third variable is not passed here, so it will be by default value will be considered, that is 10 will be considered. So here, so a, b and c values will be n1 value, n2 value and c value will be taken by default from here. So accordingly it calculates and returns the answer, then it displays the result. So in case we pass the third argument value while calling the function, then this default value will not have any value. That means if you pass some n3 value, then that n3 value will be taken automatically as c instead of 10. So only when you don't pass the value to the third variable here, c value will be 10. If you pass some value, then passed value will be considered. So let us see with the example. We'll execute this program. So in this case, if I run the program, it asks for the first number, it asks for the second number, and you get the result. So you see the result. The value here is I passed two values, that is n1 and n2, that is 4 and 5. So 4 plus 5 is 9. So C values automatically taken from here. Clear? So in case I'm taking one more value here, that is n3 value. Okay, let us see that. If I'm taking n3 also from here and I pass n3 here, and C value I'll keep it as 10. Okay, so now again I will run this program. If it asks for the first number, I will give 4, second number I'll give 5. So sorry, the third number I'm entering here is 6. So what happens is 6 plus 4 plus 5, that is 15. So output you got 15. But here I had specified the default value is 10. So now it is ignoring this. Clear? So when we are passing the value, the passed value will be considered. If you don't pass, the default value will be considered. Is it clear? So let us move forward. The third type of arguments is called keyword arguments. These are the parameters which gives us flexibility to change the order of arguments while calling the function to be executed. They are also called named arguments, as here we use the same name of the arguments while calling the function, as we have created parameters in the function definition or header part. It is beneficial when we remember the name of the parameters but do not recall their order in the function header. So just by their name only we can send the arguments properly even without knowing their correct order. So the keyword arguments, what is keyword arguments? Let us see here. So here, as the name same name is being used as we do in case of keywords, they are termed as keyword arguments. They are the only parameters which have nothing to do with the function header. They are created by using the same name while calling the function, and here we can use the same name for calling and receiving, that is the function definition and function call. So in other cases we can also give a different name, right? We'll see the example here. Def sum a comma b comma c, s is equal to a plus b plus c, print a b c, return s. So this is actually the function sum, which takes the arguments a, b and c. In main function we have we are accepting three numbers, then sum equal to, so just say this actual parameter here, we wrote b is equal to n3, a is equal to n2, c is equal to n1. So what happens, these values will be passed to this. So why, when function definition, what happens is, so what is a value, that is second value or what you are passing, that will be taken as a. What is b value, that is n3, that will be taken as b. What is c, that will be taken in c. So here the order is not followed, instead that it uses the variable names. Clear? So if you run the program, you will get the output accordingly. Okay, so let us try this also. Let us see. So I'm running this. So first number I am entering, second number I am entering, and third number I am entering. So you see the number I entered 5, 6 and 7. So what is 5? 5 is n1, n2 and n3. Okay, but I am assigning n2 value to a. N2 value is nothing but 6 to a, and n1 value to c, that is 7 to n1, sorry, n1, that is 5 to c, then 6 to a. Okay, accordingly this value will be taken, it will add, and I just to know that what is the value of a, b, c within this function, I just gave a print statement here. So you can note down, you can see the output here. So 6, 7 and 5 are the values of a, b, c within this function. But here how we passed b, a and c values. So here by referring its name it will take the values. So this is called as keyword arguments. Clear? So these are the various ways of passing the values. So next one is multiple arguments typed together. So Python also allows you to combine multiple argument types in a function call. That is, in a single function call we can have positional or keyword and even default arguments all together. So but there are some rules to be followed. Rules for combining all these three types of arguments. All the positional arguments must be the first argument, that is from the left to most. So positional arguments has to be given first. Keyword argument follows the positional arguments and can be taken instead of them. Means keyword arguments to be following the positional arguments. More than one value cannot be specified for any of the arguments. You cannot assign more than one value. These are the few rules for using when you are using all the three together in a single function. So next one is composition. What is composition? In simple terms, composition means that when while calling the function, we pass expression or call another function from it instead of passing normal variables or values in it. So the definition actually, the composition is using an expression as part of larger expression or a statement as part of statement. For example, so when you're calling the function check, instead of the variables we can also pass the values directly, or we can pass an expression. So like in a square root function math.sqrt, so I can pass another function math.pow 9, 5. That means this will be done first, then it will be passed to this function. Even I can pass 19 and 19. So one is integer, one is string. So these expressions will be performed first, then it will be calling the function by passing these values to the function testing in this case. So not only the values or variables, you can also use expressions while passing to the functions. I hope you are clear with these methods of calling. Next is scope of variables. The place where the variable is created in Python program determines its lifetime and area of usage, and it is called scope of the variables. So that means a variable can be used where and where it can be accessed, that defines its scope. Lifetime of a variable means till what time it will be available in memory, and after which it will be deleted by Python. So area of usage of variable means till which block or till which function body a variable can be used in a Python program, and if we try to access it outside that area, then Python will give error. Scope refers to the parts of the program in which a variable is legal and accessible. Is it clear? So the variable will have some scope, so where it can be accessed. And what is that? lifetime of a variable. So that we'll see with the example here. So we divide into the scope into two types, that is global variable and local variable, or global scope or local scope. Okay, so let us see what is global and local. So first we'll see global variables. Global variables are those which are created in top level segment of the Python program, that is underscore underscore main underscore underscore. So I have already explained this. It is nothing but unindented region of the Python program. So normally we write function header, then leave some space and start the body of the function. So but without anything, you just start from left, and it becomes an unindented portion, unindented region. So whatever is declared in unindented region is having a global scope and are visible and available in the complete program. So we'll see that with the example. So before that, we'll see what is a local variable also. Local variables are those that are created inside a block of code or statement, or even in a function definition, and can be used only in that area and not outside it. So anything is defined within a function is local, and its scope is only within the function. Their lifetime is only the block in which they are created and are destroyed after. So let's see the example. So here in this example we have two functions. One is def and another one is def sum, and another one is def avg. So sum is a function, avg is a function. So sum function is having three parameters here. So here s equal to a plus b plus c is written, return s is written. So here a, b, c are local variables of function sum. So its scope is only within this function. Similarly, there is a avg function here which accepts three arguments, and from this function, within this I am calling sum x comma y comma z. That means x and y and values are passed from this function, from average function to sum function. So here also we will use some variables like x, y, z and sm. All these variables are local to only this function. Next, we have defined three variables here. We have asked for input n1, n2, n3. These are in main part of the program, so it is not within a function. So n1, n2, n3, these are called global variables here. Ns is also a global variable. So it is defined in the unindented portion of the program. So avg n1, n2, n3. So n1, n2, n3 is passed to the function avg, and there it is taken as xyz, and from there again some function is called here. It control transfers to this, and abc is taken as xyz, and it is calculated, and its answer is returned back to the function from where it is called. So what happens is return yes. So answer is sent back to this, then its scope is over. So s will not have any value after this. Then the same manner that s is taken as sm here, sm divided by 3 is done, and it returns sm. So that means sm value sent back to the main function. So then its scope is also over. So these variable x, y, z and sm, these are local to this avg function. Its scope is only within this function. Similarly, a, b, c are the variables which are local to this, and its scope is only within this function. After sending the result will be stored in ANS, and the result is displayed here. So here N1, N2, N3 and ANS, all these are defined outside the function, so this we call it as global variables. I hope you are clear with the local and global variables. Just to see that how it works, we will execute this program also. Okay, we'll run this program. Let's see this output. So I'm entering first number. You see the program also simultaneously. Second number, and third number. So result is 5. What happens is first number, second number, and third number is passed. We are passing that to the average AVG function here. So what happens in average function? It accepts that as XYZ, and its sum is calculated. Sum is calculated in another function, and answer is sent back to this. Sum we got and divided by 3 is done for calculating the average, and it is returned back to the main function again, and ANS towards the result, that is average of this. So result is 5 here, that is average of 4, 5 and 6 is 5. I hope you are clear this, how the control transfers from one function to another. Clear? So here we saw the different methods of using local variables and global variables, and also what is keyword argument, what is default arguments, what is positional arguments. So once again, just for recalling, we know what is formal and actual parameters. Actual parameters are the parameters used in function call. It is also called as arguments, and the parameters used in function header is called as formal parameters. In formal parameters, we use different methods. One is positional arguments, default arguments, and keyword arguments. In positional arguments, we give the values in a corresponding position. That is, in this example, n1 will be taken as A, n2 is B, and n3 is C. So corresponding values are taken. That is called positional arguments. Default arguments means if you want to keep some value constant, so that we can just fix it like this, like C equal to 10. So this will be a default argument. So it will be valid only when no values are passed. If we pass any value instead of this default value here, so then the passed value will be considered. The third one is keyword argument. In keyword argument, we refer with the name of the variable while assigning. So like here A is assigned with n2, B is assigned with n3, C is assigned with n1. And in function definition also we'll use these variables. So the same variable is used in both the cases. Similarly, multiple argument type also is possible. We can use these all the three together. And then we have seen what is a composition. In composition, we can use expressions also while passing the values. Then we saw the scopes of variables. Scope means so lifetime, that is the place where the variable is created in the Python, which determines the life of the variable. That is two types of variables when we can divide into two types, that is global variable and local variable. Global variable is defined on the top level segment where uh, the unindented portion. So there you write any define any function that we call it as a global function or global variable, the variable defined in unintended region. Next is local variable. So these are variables defined within a function, within any function. Okay, we saw the examples on of this, how it runs from one portion to another. I hope you are clear with these concepts. Let us see more on in the next session. Thank you.